then you get a very clear answer to exactly the sort of person who you should try to be yourself.
Afternoon and night are the times when Pana is normally served.
Enjoy the observation of that nice, bright.
After I start doing a meditation, I know that it has changed my life a lot now.
You feel the stretching of the chest and lower your arms.
Sawadee and welcome back to our mini-series on meditation and self-development. Last week, Reverend Nicholas Thanisaro already showed you some of the challenges that you could face, which were developing vision, commitment to practice, and communication skills. This week, he will show you further insights to using your skills in meditation to bring out the better you.
Welcome back to our mini-series on meditation and self-development. Last week we've already looked at some of the unique challenges which we need to face up to when using meditation for self-development. Last time we mentioned that there are three major challenges which we need to face, and these are developing vision, integration and commitment to practice, and last but not least, effective channels of communication. This week, under the subject of vision, we're going to be looking at some of the wisdom from the old AA Serenity Prayer, which goes, accept the things we cannot change, have the courage to change the things we can, and to have the wisdom to know the difference. Today we're looking at the first of the challenges, which is developing vision. You may wonder why vision is so important. Well, vision is important because it gives us aim, direction, and momentum which we need to go forward in our self-development. It allows us to set our priorities. Without priorities, we often find that our time is taken up with the things which we don't actually find important in our lives. Many people, perhaps the majority of people, see their lives as nothing more than a stage on which they play their chosen role. They think that all life offers is a way of choice about how colorful they make their lives or how colorfully they play their role. But what we're talking about in terms of self-development is not just changing our role. It may be even changing the backdrop or even the stage on which we play. Those who lack vision in life may think that life is only of value when we are young and healthy and independent. And many things like the euthanasia movement have grown up amongst those who don't see life as important for the whole of our life, as a whole of a cycle of living and dying, which are an opportunity for us to develop ourselves for the better. Thus, simply having vision can change a lot of things in our lives. Perhaps one of the most spectacular changes in history which has come about as a result of vision was the development of aviation in the world. In fact, aviation is something which started as a result of the work of Mr. Wilbur and Mr. Wright, who started with a vision or a dream which was not like that of other men. They had a dream that one day they would be able to make steel float in the air. Normally, steel is a very heavy metal, and it's unlikely that it could float in the air all of its own accord. But because they had this vision that one day steel could float in the air, then they started to look for a means by which they could make it do that. And the result of their dream, or their vision, was that one day they were able to develop the first aeroplane, made of steel, of course, which was able to float in the air until now in the present day we take aviation for granted as a thing which is automatically available to everyone in the world, where we can float seemingly miraculously from one place to another in the world without any real difficulty anymore. But if you see what that started with, it started with the vision of just two men. So how can we know whether we are ready to go forward or whether we ought to be spending more time being patient about the things in the world which we're not yet ready to change? In order for this to be the case, we need to know more about where we stand, because in fact there are 4 different sorts of people in the world. The first category of people are those who are blind. This means that people who have no vision, who don't wish to see anything more of what is wrong with themselves or with their lives. The second group is the group of outsiders, which are those who have vision to see what is wrong with themselves or with the world, but they don't dare to do anything about it. They may even come to the point where they are suicidal because they don't know what to do about it. They don't see life as or its value in the opportunity to make changes, and rather they have a cowardly view of life. They are unwilling to live up to the vision which they have or the knowledge which they have perceived of the world around them. The third group is the group of those who are in despair. Again, they have the vision to see what is wrong with themselves or with life, but when they try to change things and they meet with lack of success, then this may make them give up their good intentions which they had in the beginning to develop themselves or the work, to develop themselves or to change the world for the better. In fact, suicide is rather a foolish phenomenon. For those who are thinking of suicide, perhaps try listening to these 2 cases of suicide which did lead people to have a clearer view of life. There was the first man who came to a monk, and he said that he was going to commit suicide and whether the monk had any final advice for him. The monk said, well, if you really want to commit suicide, then why don't you try meditating to the death? It's more cheap than buying a gun or wasting bullets on yourself. So the man did what he said, and he went and sat in the temple, and he didn't move from his meditation with a very strong will in the beginning that he was going to meditate to the death. But after 15 minutes he started to feel aches and pains from his meditation. After half an hour it became intolerable. And after only 3/4 of an hour he realized that, in fact, even if he couldn't bear the pain of his knees anymore, then certainly bearing the pain of killing himself would be much worse indeed. So from that time onwards, he started to have a much more realistic view of how to make improvements in his life. A second man who came to a monk asking for advice about his wish to commit suicide was given a special medicine by the monk. He asked the monk whether there was any suicide pills which the monk could give him. So instead of giving him arsenic, the monk gave him 2 laxative pills. And before long, the laxative pills gave their proper effect, meaning that the man found himself running very quickly to the nearest toilet. And when this happened, from the visit to the restrooms on that occasion, he found that much of the tension which had originally caused him to want to commit suicide in the first place was released, and he could think more closely about life. So from these 2 examples we can see that in fact suicide is a very negative emotion, and if we can find a more constructive way out of this to actually face up to the realities of life instead of running away from it, then in fact we will have many more inspirations which may lead us towards self-development in the end. The last of the 4 categories of people are the self-developers themselves. Again, these are people who have the correct vision about the world, how to change it for the better, how to change themselves for the better. But unlike those who are possibly despairers, they are those who set about changing themselves and changing the world in a way which is going to meet with success. The key to success in this respect is knowing what to change and what to tolerate, at least for as long as you are unable to make significant changes to those things. And the key to knowing the difference between the 2 is to know exactly what potential you have to change things in the world. You should start to deal with the things which you are certain you're going to be able to cope with in the beginning, because it's no use jumping in the water to save a drowning man if you can't swim yourself. You need to know your own potential. So exactly what are the sorts of potential which we are talking about if we are going to measure ourselves up to the sort of situations which we meet in life, so that we know what to tackle and what to leave for later. Well, there are 6 qualities which are qualities which run deeper than the sort of things which we see when we look in the mirror. Normally when we look in the mirror, we see only how handsome we are, how tall or short, or the color of our hair. We don't look very deeply at the real nature of ourselves. But if you listen to the following 6 qualities, then when you next look at yourself in the mirror, you will be able to have a deeper insight into the real nature of yourself and the potential of yourself to change yourself and the world for the better. The first quality which you should measure yourself in terms of is inspiration. You need to believe in what you're doing. If you are involved in self-development, then you need to believe in the self-development which you've set out on. You can know just how committed you are, especially, for example, if you listen to the inspiring talk on this Meditation for All program. Maybe this evening you'll be inspired to meditate with a straight back for a whole hour. But the next day you will find yourself less inspired, maybe with a few excuses, maybe meditating for only half an hour instead of 1 hour. The next day maybe you find the time is reduced to 15 minutes, or maybe you start thinking to yourself that, well, you have meditated for an hour and a half over the last 2 days, so if you average it out, that's already 20 minutes a day. And by the end of the week, the next time which you come to the Meditation for All program, maybe you found that you're too lazy to meditate at all, or you can't even remember the technique for meditation anymore. This would be an example of a person whose inspiration is not yet very firmly established in their mind. However, those who have true inspiration be able to keep up their efforts the whole of the time. The second quality which you should look at is the strength of your own precepts. By precepts we mean the ability to abstain from actions which are taking advantage of other people or ourselves, especially the weaknesses in ourselves or others. If you ask yourself the sort of person who you would want to share your apartment with, then you get a very clear answer to exactly the sort of person who you should try to be yourself. If you find that you're the sort of person who succumbs very easily to taking advantage of other people's weaknesses, then this would mean to say that your own precepts are not yet very strong. They're not yet strong enough to deal with many of the sort of problems of self-development which you would meet in the course of this spiritual path. The third thing which you should look at yourself in terms of is your level of experience. The more experience you have, the better. It means that there are less things which you will confront in life which are going to take you by surprise. So if you have experience, then this is the second level of knowledge which we were talking about last week, which can help us to go further in our pathway of self-development. The fourth thing which we should measure ourselves in terms of is our level of generosity. If we are generous, then we are more easily able to let go of things, we're more easily able to share things with others. If you are thinking to change the world and you're still a stingy person, then you have less to share with the world than those who are generous. So if you know that you're weak on generosity, then you should try to be more generous in order to make up for it. The fifth thing which you should measure yourself in terms of is your level of wisdom. Wisdom is the level of our own spiritual knowledge and the common sense when we come to dealing with spiritual matters. It's more than just education, it's more than just experience, but it comes from the degree to which we have made progress in our own meditation. And last but not least, we can talk about ourselves, measure ourselves in terms of our level of quick-wittedness. If we are quick-witted, then we can think on our feet. We don't need to prepare ourselves when we are coming across challenging situations. For a person who can give a talk which is off the top of their head, then of course they are able to do a lot more to change society or to do positive things for the world than a person who has to prepare everything on paper beforehand. And last but not least, this is an additional one from myself, is that you need to know the level of your own health. If you are really going to be going for it in terms of self-development, then you need to have a healthy constitution to be able to stand up to the physical stresses and strains of going at this project of self-development in a continuous and a consistent way. Apart from defining yourself in terms of these 6 qualities, you also need to be a person who meditates at least once a day, because it will help you to examine your own weaknesses and to know accurately which of the 6 qualities we have just talked about are qualities which you need to improve upon for yourself. If you find that you cannot change things because of your lack of these 6 qualities, then you do have to be patient about the things which you cannot yet change. It's better to be patient than to be a person who despairs because of tackling things in the wrong order. And in this case, we mean patience in the face of physical hardship, patience in the face of suffering like diseases or illnesses, patience in the face of conflict, where we have to be patient about things which would otherwise cause conflict to others, patience in the face of temptation, and also sensitivity towards self-development or being able to accept the criticism of others. These are 5 aspects of patience which we need to learn for as long as we do not have the personal strength to deal with things which need improvement in our own character or in the world around us. So today we've looked at the 6 qualities which can help to make the difference between what we tackle when we are on the path of self-development and the things which we are going to have to be patient about until we do develop those strengths. Perhaps a good idea for you this week is to stick a list of these 6 factors by the side of the mirror which you look in when you are combing your hair every day. In that way, when you look in the mirror next time round, instead of just seeing how tall or how short you are, you will start to look at yourself on a deeper level to see how ready you are to face up to the challenges of self-development. You will start to know which things you can tackle and which things which you're going to have to set aside for later in the path of self-development. So in the meantime, keep up your daily meditation, and I'll be seeing you again next week for some more of the challenges of self-development.
This week on Buddhist Culture, you'll be learning more about panas, the also important refreshments, the source of nourishment and energy for monks. You will also see the making of some of the most popular panas of the past, some of which you may be very familiar with, but some of which are very hard to find nowadays.
Pana, or refreshment in various forms, is important for suppressing thirstiness and for restoring the energy of monks. According to the Lord Buddha, pana allowed are milk and other products made from milk, soybean milk, cacao, Pana also includes juice from any fruit whose size is not larger than the drinker's own fist. For example, limes, oranges, small-sized guavas. The juice is commonly made by wringing out the cloth used to filter the juice with scrupulously clean hands to extract all the liquid. What is important is that the juice must not carry any pulp whatsoever. Pana could also be made from dehydrated fruits, such as dried monkey apple, dried lychee, dried longan, or bell fruit. Even though some bell fruits are excessive in their size, bell fruit is interpreted as an herb because of its medicinal properties, and thus could be used to make pana. This also applies to fresh and dried ginger. Sugar is allowed to be added to give a sweet flavor, as preferred. Last but not least is natural honey. Honey is used as a drink at any time of the day for its medicinal qualities. Sometimes, honey is deliberately put into other forms of panna for such additional values. All these panna are prepared by competent laymen, laywomen, or novices who know what should be served and at what time. Afternoon and night are the times when panna is normally served, but it could also be called for at any time to quickly restore energy or lost voices. Panna should be prepared according to each individual's needs.
What you have seen is a very fine example of the wonderful Buddhist tradition. I hope you enjoyed it very much, and there's still more to come next week, so don't forget to tune in. Once again, it's time for us to meditate in a practice session with Reverend Somsak Piyasiro.
After taking a cup of lukewarm water, we are quite ready for a good meditation session together. If you are ready by now, let's close the eyes gently together. We shall not squeeze the eyelids. The process of closing the eyes, just to let the eyelids touch each other. And relax the entire body. The whole body is getting loose and relaxed, as if we enter the stream of relaxation, like we are flooded by the flow of eternal relaxation. So from top to toes, every part, every single part of the physical body turns relaxed, softened and relaxed. We would get relaxed even further if we breathe in deep and slow. Take a good deep breath inside and breathe out slowly. We notice the turning point of the breath as we have learned. The turning point is in the middle of the abdomen, where the in-breath turns out-breath. This is what we normally call the station of peace. Allow the mind, allow the wandering mind here and there to come back. This is the home. Come back home to the station of peace. When the mind is at home, the mind is at peace automatically. So the mind is at home, very peaceful, right inside. Remind the existence of the mind right at the station of peace. We confirm that the mind is right here, motionless, going nowhere, but remains really right inside. Relaxation takes over the body and starts to take over the whole mind. Relax the body, let go all the feelings, all the tension of the mind. Body and mind are somewhat equally relaxed. Relax together, body and mind. Enjoy this peaceful moment, which is not easy to acquire in our daily life. Rather difficult to gain peace. Only in meditation we can gain an access to this kind of peace by instilling the wandering mind back home. Now confirm the mind at home, still mind at home, continuously for the moment. By remaining quiet at the station of peace, we are accumulating more and more peace. Peace is created inside. The more we remain at the station of peace, the more accumulation of peace we could create. So we are even more and more peaceful by now. Let the process of accumulation of peace continue for a while by staying quiet, tranquil in itself. The mind is creating more peace. When peace grows bigger and bigger, it starts to radiate. The radiation of peace is an automatic process. Peace will expand in the formation of the sphere. It is stated in the Oriental philosophy, especially in the Buddhist doctrine, that the original form, the true form of the mind is in a sphere form, a round shape, perfectly round shape, right in the center of the body. Now let peace expand together with the sphere of the mind. Peace and mind become peaceful mind, expanding the sphere outward. We stay in the center of the expanding, peaceful sphere. The mind expands. We remain in the center of the body. The process will be natural. It is expanding as peace grows and grows. The sphere form of the mind is going out bigger together with the expanding peace. Enjoy the expanding sphere for a little while. Since the actual form of the mind is a sphere, it resembles the crystal ball. The nature of the mind is bright originally, bright and round and clear. These features resemble a crystal ball. So the image of the crystal ball is then visualized at the station of peace, right at the spot of the turning point. So the shape of the crystal ball turns up at the station of peace. Enjoy the observation of that nice, bright, clear like crystal that is dwelling silently in the center of the body. The crystal ball picture may come and disappear at any time. In case it disappears from the center, do not worry or frustrated. It is normal that the crystal ball will come and go. Once it goes, we create by the power of our visualization. We just welcome another new crystal ball, like a pop-up at the point of the turning point. So at this turning point, we always witness, we always see the picture of one crystal ball all the time. When one ball is gone, we imagine another one. So all the time, or every second, every minute, we have one crystal ball to enjoy. This is a formation of the mind when meditation reaches profoundness. When we are profound enough, we could realize the actual picture, actual formation of the mind. But at this stage, in this class, it is the visualization in the first place. So enjoy the existence of the crystal ball in the center. We always have one crystal ball all the time. No matter any one of the ball could be gone. a new ball will come to replace. Enjoy the crystal ball floating independently at the center of the body. Make sure that each minute that passes by, the body is always relaxed, and we could confirm that the existence of the turning point is always there. The crystal ball is always there. Before the class this week will end, confirm the turning point again by taking a good, soft, but deep breath. Reaching the turning point, we realize the picture of the crystal ball and gain more peace. So peace, station of peace, crystal ball, the center of the body, everything, every term coexist at the same point. Enjoy the existence of the mind at the center before we finish the class. Once we are ready for the exit, we confirm the center carefully and then gradually, softly coming out of the meditation. Hope you enjoy the meditation practice by doing the right method. If you practice consistently, you would improve week by week. Remember to do this even between the week that we meet. 7 days, do meditation at home as an enjoyable homework. And next week, if we meet again, you would improve a lot. Have a good time in meditation at home till we meet next time. See you next week.
Next, we will meet with Ampon Gibbs, who started to practice meditation as means to relieve stress. But then she discovered that meditation is something more than just relaxation, but rather a way to internal wisdom. Let's hear it from her.
สวัสดีค่ะ Hello, my name is Ampon Gibbs. I have learned to meditation since 2001 for Dhammakaya techniques. I never did realize before that meditation had helped me, and it did affect my family. And actually, I didn't know that I had changed, because the way I am is I'm really go-go person. I'm working at my own business, doing real estate. That's quite stressful. One time is I have a client that I have worked with him extensively, maybe 10 hours a day, without eating lunch for maybe about a month. He started writing a contract. I'm ready to get him for signature. And after he changed his mind, you wouldn't believe that how stressful it is for the whole month, 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And suddenly he changed his mind. That's very stressful, you know. And at that time, I didn't do meditation. And I know that the outcome of me toward him is kind of bad. It's unprofessional. But after that, my husband had told me and my son had told me meditation had helped me a lot. And now my personality changed some, that I'd be able to cope with stress more, to act professionally. And instead of cutting that person off of my list, I didn't realize that it helped me until my husband passed away. He died with a lung cancer in 2002. But at that time, I already done meditation a lot more than it was, especially the time that when he in the hospital, I'm trying to help him and try to meditate at the same time at that time. It did help me a lot to control with the stress, stress with losing someone that you love, stress with somebody that really have problem with health, but you cannot do anything, that's quite a stress in the family for months and months and months and months, that really drains you. And I didn't realize that how I cope with his loss better until he had passed away. But after he had passed away, I had become extensively meditated. I came to Thailand and to meditate since August for about 5-6 months. I've been doing it for maybe 10-12 hours a day, more likely, extensively. And after that, I realized that meditation is not just for relax and calm your mind. It's so far beyond that, But you never know if you don't do it. Something like this, nobody can teach you how to do it. You have to do it yourself. I had a son. He is 27 years old now. But when he's a teenager, I am very strict since I have only one son. He had to do everything I told him to do. And it had to be done at that moment. And I never let him go out from the house to spend the night at some other friend's house at all, because you never know, what the kid was doing at night. At 16 years old, I sent him to work in a hamburger joint. Just want to teach him that nobody can give him that to be responsible when the father and mother give to him all the time. And they don't know the value. And I told him that he need to go out, find a job. You won't be at that night. I need to tell you the story. It's very funny. He's 16 years old. I sent him to work, and he told me, Mom, I got a job now at a hamburger place. And I told him, what you do? I said, I'm supposed to wash all the pot and pan at hamburger place. And that night, he didn't come home until 2 o'clock. For me, as a mother, I already gone to sleep. But my husband had woke up 3 or 4 times and said, my son have not come home yet. What happened? He gone to work from 8 o'clock. And by 10 o'clock, the hamburger place already closed. How come he's still not home? I called the manager and said, how come my son's not home? He's still washing the dishes from 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And he came home. I am, as a mother, so I'm almost here sending my son out to work. He worked so hard himself just washing the pot and pan. We just thought, at the hamburger place didn't have that many dishes to wash, but he washed pot and pans. His hand is just so white. He came home and said, I told him I'd teach him the lesson. And he stayed at that place for the whole summer. Even though how he didn't like it, but he wanted to show to me that he's responsible for the job. I'm so proud to do that. Actually, I didn't know that until he gone to college. Because I'm so strict and everything cannot be out of the way what it's supposed to be. So strict with him in his high school. When he go to college, first semester he came home with different color of hair with the ears pierced. And I was so mad. And at that time, I already started doing meditation anyway. If I have not done that meditation, to become a child can still be a child no matter how old they are. And I think I probably beat him to death by that time if I have done the meditation. So I can see this in American family now. Father and mother had gone up to different things in their life. All of them have something going from the morning until at night. Never have time for themselves to meditate. That is important. And if you can set yourself to do a little bit for meditate, you're going to know that your family can be so much better. You're going to love each other so much better. And especially if you can be able to persuade all your young children to meditate, and then you can find out that they're going to be a better person in this world in order to cope with stress, in order to cope with all kinds of things that are going to happen to their life. Just like me, I never thought that something bad can happen to my life. When my husband had passed away with lung cancer, we always thought that, we in a life that it would not happen to you. That's the ignorance of me. And after I start doing a meditation, I know that it has changed my life a lot now. I realize that my wisdom starts coming out from the inner peace. Sometimes I feel so stressed that if I don't meditate, maybe in the morning, I'm so busy. That morning, I have not done meditation yet. Just for that morning, I feel like my feeling to deal with something from outside world, my reaction with the people around me, it had gone differently. It is different. I'm so happy that my son is interested in meditation also. I didn't know that he had gone and tried to do different type of meditation. Even though he know that meditation is for relaxing and calm their mind, I didn't realize that he also interested. From the result that he see it, he know it changed my life. He know it changed my life. And he begin to do that now. And he happy with it. He always remind me that, Mom, you need to meditate and you need to keep your mind at the center of your body. Because sometimes your reaction will come back. For me to him, it's not a nice way. And after I realized that, yeah, he remind me of the bad thing. We thought that to find the happiness of the world is you have to have a better house, you have to have better cars, you have to have better job, you have to be rich. Rich is not the answer for everything. You can find answer for yourself now is from the inner peace, from meditation. And you're gonna realize that you had missed out a lot. Only thing that will make this successful for yourself and your family is you have to give yourself a chance. That's important. Give yourself a chance no matter who you are. That's all. And once you start doing it, you're gonna realize changing in your family, in your children. And I know that the young children nowadays, it needed, especially teenagers. As I'm Americans, and my son's Americans, he didn't realize how meditation is good for him, even though how strict I am with him, and how now he grew up out to be such a good person. And now he learned how to meditate, and he loves to do this meditation every day. He cannot miss that. If we can make that to be part of life, that's we really need it. Just like you do in the morning, you have to eat, and sometimes you eat 2 meals a day, sometimes you eat 3 meals a day. The same thing if you make meditation to be part of your life, that also will be part of your life forever. And you're gonna need some change in your life that you never can forget that, oh my God, I didn't start doing this soon enough.
Now is the time for us to stretch and relax with Body and Mind Solution with Dr. Wichit Kittipong Koson and Mrs. Wichida Sathalanan. Enjoy yourselves, and we will see you again same time next week. Thank you for watching Meditation for All. Have a great week. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Body and Mind Solution for the second time and I'm with หมอวิชิต สวัสดีค่ะหมอวิชิต
สวัสดีครับคุณวิชุดาครับ
ค่ะ
Today I would like to introduce the first and second posture of Body and Mind Solution. The first posture is called to ease the neck and shoulder. And this is a posture to release fatigue of the muscle of neck together with muscle of shoulder at the same time. So let's meet Pin Plat together. We start with breathing exercise. Put your hand on your body and take deep breath in and slowly out. Take deep breath in and slowly out 2 to 3 times. Follow your breath to inside your body to touch the turning point of your body. The turning point of your breath is the center of the body. When you take a deep breath in, follow your breath to touch the center of the body. It is the turning point of your breath. That is the station of your mind. So, remind of this point along with your movement. Let's look at Pin Prat. Take a deep breath in and slowly out. Take a deep breath in and slowly out. Take a deep breath in, touch the center and slowly out. But your mind is still at the center. This is the starting posture for every Body and Mind Solution posture. And then the neck posture. Move the head forward. Move the head forward until you feel stretching on the back of your neck. And then move your head back to center and tilt the head backward. Slowly move back to center. And then turn to the right until you feel stretching on the left side of the neck. And then move back to center and then continue to move to the left until you feel stretching on the right side of the neck and then back to center. Do not force, do it slowly. And then we're going to tilt the head to the right and then back to center and to the left and then back to center. Next we are going to turn the head half round. Move the head forward, downward and then turn half round to the right. Stop and turn back and then back to center. Again to the left. Forward and turn to the left. Half round. Then stop and back to center. Next is the shoulder muscle exercise. Don't forget your mind is still at the center. Concentrate at the center of your body. That is the turning point of your breath, along with your movement. This posture, we are going to exercise the shoulder muscle by lift your arms up, okay, and move your arm backward. Stretch the muscle of your chest, and then lower your arm, and then lift your arms again up. This is one round. We try again. First, lift your arms up, and then move your arm backward until you feel stretching on the muscle of your chest. Then slowly lower your arm. You should feel stretching on the upper back area. And then turn your arm up again. One more time. Okay, ปีนลองทำ Yes. One more time. And then put your hand on your body. Take a deep breath in and slowly out. Take a deep breath in and slowly out. And move to the sitting posture. If you are in the place that allows you to sit and meditate, when you feel relaxed on your body, you should continue to practice meditation. This will be very beneficial for your body and your mind. To exercise the shoulder muscle by lifting the arms up. And take a deep breath in and out. Always remind of the center of the body along with the movement. Lift both arms up, all the way up, and move both arms backward to feel the stretching of the chest, and lower your arms down and lift your arms up again, up and backward to feel the stretching on the muscle of the chest, and lower the arms and move your arms up again. One more round. Okay, lift your arms up, take a deep breath in. Press the muscle of your chest and then lower your arms. Breathe out. And take a deep breath in and out. One more time. Take a deep breath in and out. Remind of the center of the body, the station of your mind. And if you are in the place that is available, you can continue to move to the sitting position and start practice meditation while your body are so relaxed, and you continue to remind of the center of your body. This is very good and very beneficial for both your body and your mind.
And Dr. Vishit, what is the good point of both postures?
It is very beneficial. For the first part or the first posture, breathing exercise, also called to energize the lung. This will allow the lung to exercise because lung is one of the hard working organs.
Oh.
And since we hardly take deep breath during our daily life, so this posture will stimulate the lung to eliminate carbon dioxide and waste products, and in turn fill in the lung with fresh air effectively. This, of course, very beneficial for the body. And the second posture, so-called to ease the neck and shoulder, it will prevent calcium deposition along the neck. But keep in mind that this has to be slow, the movement has to be slow, the same as when you move the muscle of the shoulder.
I see.
Okay. This will ease away the muscle and tendon around the joint, and also continue to the upper part of your arms, upper back, and upper part of the chest. And this will in turn promote the circulation and make us release and relaxed.
So this is a real relief of the muscle, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but please keep in mind that the movement have to be slow, and always remind of the turning point of the breath along with the movement.
Yes. So please try it by yourself at home. And that's it for today.
ครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ